Hello, everyone. If you are looking out the window here in Columbus, Ohio today, you know we are dealing with our standard gray freezing rain.
It is definitely one of those days where the potholes on I-270 feel like they are actively trying to destroy your car.
Exactly. And this morning, while I was scraping ice off my windshield, I was thinking about the emails I had to send today.
That is a terrible way to start the morning. Just thinking about work in the freezing cold.
Professional, introducing the topic. It really is, but it relates to what we are discussing today. In a professional environment, clarity is everything. We are talking about 3 words: either, neither, and rather.
Those 3 words cause so much panic for non-native speakers. I know people who have lived in the US for 10 years, and they still freeze when they need to use them.
It is a silent pain. Imagine you are in a meeting at one of the new tech companies opening up here in Ohio. Your manager says, "I am not happy with this project timeline."
And you want to agree with your manager. You want to show support. But instead of saying the correct phrase, you say, "I do not like it too."
Yes. And immediately, the room feels a little awkward. Your manager understands you, but it sounds completely unnatural. It makes you sound unsure of yourself.
That insecurity is what keeps people awake at night. People worry that their colleagues judge their intelligence based on their grammar. It is an awful feeling.
It truly is. So today, we are going to fix this completely. We are not just giving you rules. We are showing you how to sound confident and standard.
Where do we start? With the most common mistake?
Yes. Let us start with agreeing to negative statements. If I say, "I do not like the cold weather here."
If I want to agree, I must say, "I do not like it either."
Exactly. In English, we cannot use to when the sentence has not in it. We use either.
Understanding. It seems simple, but in many languages, you use the exact same word for positive and negative agreement. Your brain wants to translate directly.
I understand, but we have to train the brain. Positive sentence: I am tired. Response: me too. Negative sentence: I am not tired. Response: me either.
Wait, what about neither do I? When do we use that?
Good question. Neither do I means the exact same thing as me either. It is just slightly more formal and uses a different structure. You put neither first, then you invert the verb.
So if someone says, "I do not eat seafood," I can say, "Neither do I."
Correct. But pay attention to the verb. If they say, "I cannot drive in this snow," what is your response?
I would say, "Neither can I." You have to match the helping verb.
Exactly. You just copy their verb. Am, is, are, do, did, can, will. It makes you sound very fluent.
Now, what about the double negative problem? I hear this all the time at the grocery store or at the coffee shop.
Yes, people say things like, "I do not want neither of those." In standard US English, that is incorrect. Neither is already negative. You cannot have 2 negative words in the same clause.
Providing the solution. Right, you should say, "I do not want either of those," or "I want neither of those."
Here is an interesting scientific fact about that. Cognitive linguists have studied how the human brain processes sentences. The brain processes negative statements much slower than positive ones.
Really? That makes sense. It takes more mental energy to understand what is not happening.
Yes, and when you use a double negative, like "I do not want neither," it causes a cognitive spike for the listener. It actually forces their brain to pause and decode your sentence.
That is fascinating. So when we use standard grammar, We are actually making it physically easier for people to listen to us.
Precisely. Now, let us move to choices. Either and neither are also used when we have two options.
For example, if someone asks, "Do you want to meet on Tuesday or Wednesday?"
If you are completely flexible, you say, either day is fine. That means option A or option B. Both are acceptable.
And if you are busy on both days, you say, "Neither day works for me." 0 options.
Notice the structure. Either or, neither nor. They always travel in pairs when you mention both items. You can either call me or email me.
What happens if someone says, "I want neither tea or coffee"?
That is a mistake. It must be neither tea nor coffee. If you use neither, you must use nor.
This brings up a situation at work. You are given 2 bad choices, and you want to suggest a third option. How do we introduce that smoothly?
That is the perfect time to use rather. Rather is an incredible word for workplace diplomacy. It shows a preference politely.
Applying the concept. So if my team says, "Should we cancel the project or delay it?" I can say, "I would rather ask for a larger budget."
Exactly. You rejected the first 2 options silently, and you proposed a new one without sounding aggressive.
I heard something interesting about the word rather. Does it come from an older word?
Yes, it comes from the Old English word hrathor, which meant sooner or earlier. So when you say, "I would rather stay home," historically you were saying, "I would sooner stay home."
That makes perfect sense. It is about sequence. You put one choice ahead of the other.
Right, but we need to watch the grammar. A very common error is putting to after would rather. People say, "I would rather to eat here."
We must remove the to. It is just a simple base verb. I would rather eat here.
Perfect. And in normal daily conversation, we contract it. We say, I'd rather eat here.
Setting a scene. Let us practice a realistic scenario. Imagine a couple trying to figure out dinner. Person A says, "Do you want pizza or tacos?"
If I am easygoing, I say, either is fine.
If you are tired of both, you say, "Neither. We had pizza yesterday and tacos on Monday."
And to solve the problem, you use rather. I'd rather cook pasta at home.
You just navigated a whole conversation smoothly without any hesitation.
That is the goal. We want our listeners to walk into their office tomorrow or go to the grocery store and use these words without panic.
Before we finish, we should talk about pronunciation. I hear some people say either and some say either.
Both are completely correct in standard American English. Choose the one that feels easiest for your mouth to produce, and just stay consistent.
That takes a lot of pressure off. I always thought one was British and one was American.
It is a mix. You will hear both all over Ohio, Florida, New York, everywhere. What matters is the structure behind the word.
So, no, me too, not. No, I do not want neither, and no, would rather to.
Exactly. You remove those 3 errors, and your English instantly sounds more professional. You will feel that confidence next time you speak.
Thank you for breaking this down so clearly. It really helps lower the anxiety of speaking in a fast-paced environment.
That is what we are here for. Stay warm out there in the Midwest weather, everyone, and keep practicing these patterns out loud.